Assalamualaikum and good day everyone. My name is Muhammad Aaron Safwan bin Rusli, matrix number AA251174. Okay, so for this presentation, we will be discussing our problem-based learning project for the course Statistics 1, which is the code DAU10503. So the title of our project is Students' Monthly Spending. This study focuses on how students spend their money each month on common expense such as food, transportation, accommodation, study material and also personal needs. So recently, due to the rising cost of living and change in lifestyle, many students are facing financial pressure and find it difficult to manage their monthly budget. Most students depend on limited income source like family allowance, scholarship or loans, and also part-time job. So because of this, budgeting has become an important challenge for students. Okay, so the main point or the main purpose of this study is to understand students' spending habit and to raise awareness about better financial management. In this project, we apply multiple linear regression to real data collected from students to analyze the factors that influence monthly spending. So, the key factors studied include personal needs, entertainment expense, family allowance, scholarship or loans, and also monthly internet expense. We hope the finding from this study can help students to manage their finances better and provide useful insight of institution and policymakers to support studies' financial well-being. So that's all for my introduction. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum dan selamat sejahtera. Next, I will present about methodology. Before we start, I will introduce myself. My name is Nur Muhammad Taufik bin Rubai. My matrix number is AA250007. For this methodology, based on our study that we picked, which is students' monthly spending, we tried to find as many as factors as possible, which was said by Madam to be at most 5, so that we can find the correlation between our dependent variable, which is students' monthly spending, and 5 independent variables. After a while, like our study and hard working, we finally found 5 factors that we will go through one by one. For the first factor, we choose students' needs. This refers to when students spend their money on like very crucial, important things that they cannot avoid, which is food, laundry, drinks, etc. This factor cannot be like not considered because it is like very important for students because they cannot not spend on this. The second factor is family allowance. The reason for the importance of this factor is because students' monthly spending almost like entirely depend on their parents or like siblings as long as they are family. And the third factor, which is some students get but some students don't get this, which is scholarships or loans. For example, for loans, usually students get PTPTN, and for scholarships, for as far as we heard, we had data about JPA, TVET, and so on. A lot of students depend on these 2 factors for their monthly spending, so we should really consider this as their monthly spending. And the fourth factor is students' entertainment. Most of students very love to like go outside, to shopping or online purchasing, so this factor is very important for us to pick because a lot of students like they have desires to buy something, so it should be considered in the dependent variable. Lastly, our fifth factor is monthly internet expenses. For example, like Maxis, Digi or Celcom, because I think every student pay for this, even though UTHM already provides Wi-Fi, because just like the previous factor, students like to go shopping, maybe go to mall or anywhere, so they need data. So Maxis, Digi or Celcom, really we should consider this factor, monthly internet expenses, as their students monthly spending. And actually these data are collected through Google Form survey. We post this on UTHM small groups, for example like diploma first year students, or like the block group, for like I live in block A13, so we send it to block A13 group. So, and finally we received the minimum which is 60 respondents for our report study, and we transfer this Google form to Excel to study on multiple linear regression, which what we focuses on, and determine the required data for our assignment report. And further down, my next friends will explain about the results and the discussed data that we collected from Excel. Thank you very much.
Hello, I will present about data presentation. First, my name is Oscar Ochensi. Metric number is AA2500005. To continue my friend's point earlier, we have collected 60 respondents for the 1 dependent variable and 5 independent variables. Before we start with the multiple linear regression, I will first present about the data analysis on student spending and its 5 factors, which are students' needs, entertainment, family allowance, scholarship or loans, and monthly internet. Based on the slide shown here, we presented the data in the form of frequency tables involving O, Y, and 5X. The reason why we study on this frequency table because we would like to know how much do students spend on all of the variables below, and later examine its multiple linear regression testing. Firstly, let's look at the table of students' need because it is the most important factor in the dependent variable. As we can see, the highest frequency falls within the range of 372 to 643 ringgit, with a total of 25 students. This indicates that most students' needs are concentrated within this range, while lowest is in range 916 to 1187, which only one student to be in the range. Next is family allowance. Majority of the students' parents only give in a range of 100 to 371 a month, which have 50 students in it. It's like around 80% of the whole respondent. Surprisingly, there is one student where their family provide almost 7,000 ringgit to them. Other than that, parents, scholarship or loans also help students in surviving this university in terms of financial. Most of students respond with around almost 357 ringgit a month, which actually helps a lot for students to buy their needs. Next is monthly internet. Since UTHM already provide Wi-Fi, most of students don't spend much on internet. The majority of students in UTHM spend only around 28 to 57 ringgit, while entertainment shows that a lot of students spend actually quite a lot. Not to blame them though. This year and age, a lot of things we wanted to buy and it's easy to buy. Majority of them use almost a total of 240 ringgit a month. Finally, for the descriptive statistical analysis, one independent variable was selected for further calculation, which is students' needs, because we think it is the factor that most have relationship with students' total spending. The data was divided into 7 classes, determined using the appropriate formula for the number of the classes. The class size was calculated to be 272. The class midpoints as well as the values of fx and fx squared were computed to obtain statistical measures such as the mean and standard deviation. The total number of observations used in this analysis is 60 respondents, which provides a reliable overview of the data. In conclusion, this analysis helps us better understand the pattern of students' financial needs and spending behavior, and it provides useful insight into their overall financial situation. Thank you.
My name is Muhammad Hadi bin Mazlan and my metric number is AA251324. On this slide, I will explain the construction of a multiple linear regression model using Microsoft Excel. First, this analysis involves 60 observations as shown in the observation section. The purpose of this model is to examine the relationship between student monthly spending and 5 independent variables, which are student needs, family allowance, scholarship or loan, entertainment, and monthly internet expense. Next, we focus on the regression coefficient. The intercept value is 349.374, which means that when all independent variables are equal to 0, the estimated basic monthly expenditure of a student is 349.37 ringgit Malaysia. For student needs variable, the coefficient is 0.610. This shows that for every 1 ringgit Malaysia increase in student needs, the monthly expenditure increases by 0.61 ringgit Malaysia, holding at the factor constant. The variable is also statistically significant because its p-value is less than 0.05. For family allowance, the coefficient is 0.037, while scholarship or loan has a coefficient of 0.031. This indicates that both variables have a positive effect, but their effects are small and not statistically significant. Next, the entertainment variable has a coefficient of 0.438, which shows that an increase in entertainment spending leads to a relatively substantial increase in student monthly expenditures. However, for monthly internet expense, the coefficient is negative 1.901, indicating an inverse relationship. This suggests that an increase in internet costs may lead to a reduction in spending in other categories. Finally, based on all these coefficients, the multiple linear regression model form is y equals to 349.374 plus 0.610 S1 plus 0.037 S2 plus 0.031 S3 plus 0.438 S4 plus negative 1.901 S5. In conclusion, this model shows that student needs and entertainment are the main factors influencing student monthly expenditures, and the model is appropriate and statistically significant for use in this study.
Next, I will present half-order analysis from the Excel. So, from the result, it is shown that the coefficient of the regression for the summary output is R equals to 0.714. This means that it has strong positive linear correlation between students' monthly spending, which is Y, and 5 factors, which is X. So we decided to put the limit of alpha less than 0.002. Can we conclude that neither of the independent variables are related to the dependent variable?
After thorough study, the p-value for the coefficient of S1 is 0.00065, which is less than 0.02. Therefore, reject HO and accept H1. This explains that at least one of the independent variables student needs is related to the student monthly spending. After all the calculation and determination, the table has proved that the coefficient determination is 50.94% of Y. Student monthly spending is dependent on S1, S2, S3, S4, and S5. For table ANOVA of regression DF, refer to the number of factor S is 5 and residual formula is n negative S plus 1 with n is observation n equal to 60 and S. So the result of calculation is 54. The total of both regression and residual DF are 54 plus 5 equal to 59. For F, the formula is MSR divided by MSE, with MSR refer to regression, MS and MSE is residual MS. So the calculation is 1,230,427.94 divided by 100,740.9007, which F equal to 11.21211811.
My name Muhammad Arif Hanafi bin Nuralizam. My number matrix AA250115. Now let's move on to the other analysis section, where we interpret the result of our multiple linear regression. When we run this analysis, the output typically provides us with three essential tables. First, regression statistic. Second, the ANOVA table. And third, the coefficient table. Each of these gives us a different layer of insight into our data. Table 1. Regression statistic. First, we look at the regression statistic, which serves as a summary of how well our model fit the data. Multiple R. This represents the correlation strength between our dependent and independent variable, R squared. This is a key metric. It tells us the percentage of variation in the dependent variable that can be explained by our predictor, adjusted R squared. We use this to get a more accurate picture, as it adjusts the R squared based on the number of predictor used. Standard error. This represents the average distance that the observed value fall from the regression line. Essentially, it's the average prediction error. Observation. This simply indicates our total sample size. Table 2. The ANOVA table. Next, we have the ANOVA table. The primary goal here is to determine if the regression model is statistically significant as a whole. We look at the DF, which is degree of freedom, which relates to our sample size and variable, and the SS is sum of square, which show the total variation. The MS, which is mean square, is calculated by dividing the sum of square by the degree of freedom. The F statistic compare the variance explained by the regression against the residual variance. The bottom line, we look at the significant F or P value. If this value is less than 0.05, we can confidently say that our overall model is statistically significant. Table 3, the coefficient table. Finally, the coefficients table allow us to zoom in on the specific impact of each individual independent variable. Coefficient. This tells us the estimate effect or the weight of each predictor. Standard error. This measures the precision of that estimate. Key statistic. This tests whether a specific coefficient is significantly different from zero p-value. Just like in the ANOVA table, if the p-value is less than 0.05, that specific variable is considered a statistically significant predictor. 95% confidence interval. A quickly way to check significance is to see if this interval includes 0. If it does not include 0, the coefficient is significant. In summary, we use the regression statistic to check the fit, the ANOVA to check the overall model validity, and the coefficients to identify which specific variable are actually driving the result. That's all from me. Thank you.
To conclude, this study successfully analyzed students' monthly spending pattern using multiple linear regression or MLR. So, 5 main factors were examined: students' needs, family allowance, determined expense, monthly internet cost, and also scholarship or loans. Overall, the findings show that all these factors are correlated with students' monthly spending. So, based on the regression result, student needs were found to have the strongest positive relationship with monthly spending compared to the other factor. Okay, so the hypothesis testing also confirmed that at least one independent variable has a significant effect on student monthly spending. In addition, the correlation coefficient indicates a positive relationship between the dependent variable and the selected factors. The coefficient of determination or R squared show that a considerable proportion of student monthly spending can be explained by these 5 independent variables. Although some variables have weakest effect individually, the overall model demonstrates the multiple factors collectively influence student spending behavior. So this result highlight the importance of effective financial management among students. This study also provide useful insight for student educational institution and policymakers to better understand student financial challenges. So, in conclusion, this research proved that multiple linear regression is an effective tool for analyzing real-world financial data related to student spending. That's all. Okay, so this is our references. So we reference a lot to Madam Nurhana notes from UTHM student. Okay, so this is our preferences. We reference a lot to Madam Nurhana notes from Sector 1 to Sector 5. Thank you, Madam. And these are our raw data. Lately, we got enough 16 respondents from UTHM student only. So that's all from our study report. We would like to end this presentation with wabillahi taufiq wa hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and thank you.